This is the Liquid Courage Podcast, a in-depth look at every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. This week, we look at Night of the Weremole and Mother's Day, featuring Taylor, Tim, and Sheldon. Now here are your hosts.
So,
rolling.
Welcome to the Liquid Courage Podcast.
Sheldon the intro.
He's doing it today.
Fucking sniped it. Look at that
with
boy.
Taylor, Tim, and myself, Sheldon.
Wow.
Woo!
Wow, somebody got big for their britches over a matter of some alcohol.
Oh, he said my name. I have to take a shot.
What is wrong with you, Tim?
Take a shot at the start of every podcast.
Oh my god, Tim. That's so crazy, Tim.
God damn it, Tim. Why are you doing this?
Tim, you should... Tim.
It doesn't feel great, but
I thought it was just every time.
I thought it was for every Tim.
Oh no, no, every... You guys are fighting. What the fuck?
Every introduction?
What the fuck just happened? Oh. Someone just followed me on Twitch. What?
Oh, do we need a new intro, or are you going to cut all this shit out?
Here we are.
We can cut that part out. I don't know.
Live.
Yeah.
No, leave it in.
Leave it in.
Leave it in. I don't know what to
Leave it in.
We're not
Tim
streaming.
TV, Twitch. Go watch him. He plays terrible games.
Sometimes.
Games.
Sometimes.
So bad games.
I had to take 2 weeks off from playing games after the last game I played.
Yeah, which didn't have anything to do with Mr. Dilworth, the creator of Courage the Cowardly Dog, the show that we all are experts in.
So, hey, before we go any
ahead.
farther on that, I would like to
Papa.
do a little bit of housekeeping here.
Sure,
for the
do that.
podcast.
Clean the house. Dust them shelves.
So we were brought up on the Turn Me Loose podcast. We're actually recording this before that episode goes up. But
We're going to beat him to air.
probably not. I would
We're
assume.
going to beat him to air.
But they did bring us up in their Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon debate that they had. So I would like to give them a shout out as well. You can find them on Twitter at Turn Me Loose Podcast. They have a YouTube channel as well and everything. So, give them a like.
Good man, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you. You're a good boy.
Yeah, pay
You're
it
a
forward,
good boy.
boys. That's what you
You're a
do.
good boy, just like Courage.
Now let's get into the horrifying events that we just witnessed.
So
Which one should we even start with?
Well, that's a really quality question. So last week I needed to say some stuff about.
Sorry, I can't hear you from over there.
Yeah, I know. I'm currently being absconded by my dog. I'm sorry, folks, if you hear a rattling in the background. That is my boy.
You're good,
but
you're
he needs attention.
Oh, Charles.
And he's a good boy. But so last week we ran kind of, or not last week. Oh my god, last episode we ran kind of short. Not really, but we were not as long as some of our other episodes. And I think that kind of bugged me as I sat down. But I reevaluated things and I went, you know what? We had a quality episode, and so with that, I think when it comes to those more well-known episodes, we're gonna do a lot more conversing, a lot less recap, because most people have seen those, and I think the people that are looking for these episodes are really just looking for commentary upon it, not necessarily a full recap of the episode. And those iconic episodes you should go back and watch. And that doesn't mean that we think that episode is the best episode ever or isn't worth the recap. It just means that we kind of look at it a little bit differently. I, for one, of the last 2 episodes between Freaky Fred and Demon in the Mattress, I actually really like Demon in the Mattress way more than Freaky Fred. But Freaky Fred is a character that is well known. And so we spent probably more on Demon in the Mattress because I think it's just a better put together episode.
Old move, God.
Which again does not mean that Freaky Fred is bad. And
No,
I don't want to hear that. Don't at me here.
Don't tweet us. Do not email us.
But but that's just where we are, and I think you should just be aware of that, because there's a lot of episodes in Courage where we're gonna probably do that, because as we keep rolling, we're gonna run into a lot more of those iconic episodes. In regards to that, these next 2,
Well, so I would not say they're filler. Don't say they're filler because they're not.
No.
I don't know. The werewolf one had a moment in there where, like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The werewolf one or weremole one is a bit of a stretch, but I think that's okay. And we're going to talk about that today. But I just wanted to put that. I wanted to clear the air. I wanted to make that out there. Not that literally anyone said anything to me, but I just was like, I have to do this for my own conscience.
In other words, Taylor is telling you just because he doesn't like an episode doesn't mean it's a
that you're a
bad
dummy.
episode.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point that like some of these bigger episodes that have been either memed to death or like even for Freaky Fred, there are people making a remix of that episode right now.
Shot for shot, yeah. Just like they did with Shrek, the Shrek retold.
By the way, if
Don't
you have
remind
not,
me of nightmares.
by the way,
please.
if you have not gone out and Google Shrek retold on the YouTube space, you have to go do that.
Please don't do it at your house. Go to the public
funniest.
library.
It's the funniest thing in the entire world. Please go do that.
It's pretty good. It's
so good. It's so amazing. But
We're not held liable for any of that.
I am. Sheldon is held liable for everything.
No. Aren't I always, though? Can't one of you take it for once?
No, I'm irresponsible.
no, I'm not allowed. I'm not of age.
Tim's 12. That's not real. Don't sue us.
I am
He's not.
25 years young. Please.
Wow.
Wow, way to make me feel old, Tim.
What an old boy. Anyway, let's talk about Courage. We've had enough gabbing. Let's talk about Courage and John Dilworth and David S. Cohen and the other writers like
Let's talk
Irv
about this
Bauer.
episode.
Do we?
and,
Here, I will do this as well before we start
William
this. Thank you,
Hauser.
David S. Cohen, for following us on Twitter.
Oh man, I was not even gonna acknowledge it.
I will. I'll do it.
We'll shell out.
I'll shell. You got
Hey
it.
David Cohen, thanks for making me 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon. That's
yeah.
really what I like because you followed our Twitter and you wrote the screenplay for Balto, which by the way, I have
Be
some
careful
notes
with
if you
this.
wanna.
Don't spoil our Christmas special, damn it!
But there's that. So thanks for that, for getting me that 1 degree of separation away.
And for me, closer to the Tremors podcast that I always wanted.
And for me to
Maybe
see
someday.
what tweets really, I don't know. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Man,
All
that
right.
joke fell apart.
All right,
faster than
let's go into the episode now
Then
before
this
I
episode occurs to
than
count.
you
before I go zero
motherly
coherent.
relationship.
Mm.
So the 2 episodes we watched. Well, the episode we watched contains 2 episodes. You know the drill. It had Night of the Weremole and Mother's Day, and both of them today. Here on our very fun podcast that we do monthly, at least try to. So, as you know, Courage is a pink dog who's scared of things. I don't know why you'd be jumping into our episodes midway through, but if you've never watched Courage the Cowardly Dog, that's what it is. So, these episodes are interesting. They come off the heels of Freaky Fred and Demon in the Mattress, and I think that this is when we start seeing the ramp up
Of quality.
Sure.
Yeah, of just like I think they find their groove after Freaky Fred. I think this is when we see Courage the Cowardly Dog's formula click into place, and they just keep making really good episodes.
Yeah, because this is definitely not a filler episode. It's definitely like
No.
it's better than that, but it's definitely not like a main facet of the series.
Yeah, I
The
wouldn't
main
say this
canon
one
is not destroyed by this episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is a feature like one.
Although
off
it has
the
a
bat,
lot
but
of kills.
It's so good. Well, it has 2. But we're going to talk about that. But we're going to talk about the Night of the Weremole. So, a werewolf, for those of you that are unaware, is a person who is bitten by a wolf, and then on the full moons, they've got the lycanthropy, and they turn into wolves. And they go watch American Werewolf in London. You'll figure it out.
Go watch Blade. You'll figure it out.
I hate
No, don't go. What? Really? That's where you're going? That Wesley Snipes vehicle?
He's still Blade. In my heart.
Give me a shot.
All right, so I sandbagged that. So,
Yes, you did. That's fine.
Night of the Weremole it's a werewolf story, but with moles. And we enter with nowhere. It's an evening in nowhere, and they're watching some weird B movie. I can't find the name of it. I would really like to find the name of it, but it's not anywhere that I.
The B
I
movie
couldn't
that they're
hold on.
watching at the front of the Wasp Woman is the
The
B
Wasp.
The
How did you
Wasp
find
Woman.
that? I looked so hard.
I am on the Courage fandom trivia.
Oh wow!
You didn't look that hard,
No,
Taylor.
I didn't go that hard. Every time I go there, it crashes my computer, so that's why.
Yep, that's why I'm there instead of you.
Hey wiki fandom sites, fix that. So anyway, but they're watching Night of the Wasp Woman, which I think would probably be a great mystery science theater film if they haven't done it already.
Oh God, I hope
And-
so.
So that's going on. Muriel's out in the garden. This is, I think, the first time we've ever seen anything sans chickens growing on the farm.
Right.
Not by
And-
Eustace, but it's
No.
growing.
So the farmer is inside, Courage is inside, Muriel is outside, and she is pulling up carrots.
When she is approached.
I don't know why on a farm in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, you have a tiny plot of carrots. I don't know how these people have this land.
It's a victory
We've
farm.
never figured that out.
Listen,
What?
it doesn't matter.
It does.
we have carrots. And what I mean by that is they need to survive somehow.
I was gonna
And if
say-
carrots is the way to do it. Carrots is the way to do it.
Carrot. You can make carrot stew. You can make chopped carrots. You can make some other carrot delicacies.
For
I'm
that
sure.
dust snowman, we have that carrot nose.
All right, I'm done, Bubba Gump. So, and a little bunny rabbit comes up, and I want to talk about that bunny for a minute because
How terrifying!
How is it that this show can make even the most mundane and normal animal just off-settling?
I think it's the eyes.
It's the eyes. It has to be the big bug eyes that are supposed to be cute. You've watched Bambi. Thumper's got big eyes, right? But they're expressive and they've got nice pupils. Every animal that isn't Courage in this thing, and the main the villains, have these horrible big eyes that just stare and unblink the entire time.
Oh God, you're so right.
Reminds me of an insect, sort of.
Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, like if there's an evil animal, they also do not have the big buggy eyes. Like the very pilot, the duck has like red eyes, but they're regular eyes.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's crazy. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and so the rabbit is just, it's innocuous. It's just there, and
It's
Muriel's
the
like, I'm going to feed you a carrot. And she gets ready to feed him a carrot, and then
when suddenly.
we see this mound moving towards them. And this is when one thing that is so good about this show is the animation, and I think that's why everybody's drawn to it, because it is just so weird and wonderful. And then
It's
Off,
you have
just
Yeah.
a tad.
yeah,
so. If I could describe it for you,
go
All
ahead,
right.
bud.
the regular ground that you would see, the dirt, the moving dirt,
Yeah,
is faster than the mound of the mole that is coming towards her.
Using supersonic speed, it can move in
this is
such
accurate.
This is it.
weird ways.
And I noticed, and I was like, "Huh, that's kind of weird," but like, it's not wrong by any point. Like, you couldn't say that was not the right animation to happen there. It's just
Oh,
weird.
no.
It makes it eerie. It makes it
yeah.
weirder.
That
this is
uncanny
going-
valley of mole movement.
That's right. I am a professional mole movement animator. I know all about it. I know everything. Yes.
You could have gone so many ways.
I know, I tried
You
not-
could have been exterminator. You could have been mole researcher. And you hesitated so.
Don't worry, we'll take it out in post. Say the new thing, Tim.
You essentially just
Yes,
looked
I am
around.
Mole Man.
You did,
Yes.
you did the thing where someone looked around and was like, "Yes, I am a professional glass computer."
I am the professional
Repairman.
Mario
Keyboard
Kart Nintendo Switch case lamp guy.
Like
Hmm.
what?
Oh, I'm not.
Hey, everybody! Now you know what to steal from Tim. But
Ooh.
there's
Past the
that.
floods.
So that happens. The mountain gets there. The rabbit gets horribly mauled. We count that as a general death.
That's a
Bam.
death for sure.
It's there. The mole appears. It's gone like a goddamn hole spider.
Never see the rat.
We bring that up to 4 general deaths in this episode. We're not at 5 yet, but we're getting there.
You mean in this series, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that happens, and then Muriel's like, "Oh, Bonnie, where'd you go?" She
shoving her hands in holes where they
sticks
don't
her
belong.
No human does that. Well, that's actually a lie. I've seen enough people to.
I've seen enough people that have gone like noodling and stuff.
I've been on
hands.
I've been on the deep parts of Reddit. You're right.
Yep.
The amount of time. Yeah. Also, you brought a thing up? Noodling. Okay. Hey, world. I don't know if you're aware of this, but for some reason, dummies everywhere in parts of this country. I don't think they do it. I've never seen an Indian noodler, as in from India or from Pakistan. I've never seen somebody do it from it's just Cheka now, or Chisha. I've never seen that happen. But America, for some reason, people get in a pond and they start feeling around and they found holes and they jam their hands in.
I was gonna
and
say
they pull out massive catfish.
What is the most American way to fish? It's finding a hole and punching in and hoping you get something to bite you.
Here's the thing about this. In America, we have a thing called the alligator snapping turtle that also hangs out in the same holes that catfish do. Don't do that. I know I'm yelling. Don't do that.
No,
Don't.
it's fine.
Why
Taylor's
would you do
actually
that?
worried for your safety.
I don't want to grow up in a world in this, and it's really, there's like a swath of America. Nobody from Boston fucking does this.
Hey, Boston has their own problems.
Yeah, people from Boston. But
Hey,
nobody understands what's happening.
No comment.
But like nobody else does this. Californians don't do this. Arizonans don't. It's like from the south to Oklahoma and then Kansas and Nebraska, and they're like, noodle, hand.
Why are they
Don't.
playing the thing for delivery?
I don't know.
because those
But
catfish are dangerous and
This
untrustworthy.
is why every town in America needs to have a bowling alley so people can go do something.
Yeah.
Besides noodle.
I do agree
Ugh.
on that. That's yeah.
Like, oh. Anyway, so Muriel noodles for a rabbit.
Showing yourself noodle champion
Come
of
on.
the Nowhere News.
You ordered this.
I guarantee you, if this show was around in the 2010s when noodling was an internet phenomenon, there would be an episode devoted to a terrible catfish that just ate everybody that noodled. I know that would have happened.
This show would not air in 2010s.
That's beside the point.
You know that.
But so she noodles for a rabbit.
And she
Doesn't
gets
catch a rabbit. She gets a mole.
She gets bit.
She does. She gets bit by a mole. Again, I don't know. Those of you that have never seen a mole, pause this podcast. Google what a mole looks
I was going
like.
to say, are you going to
Do you see
describe
that?
a mole
Do
to
you
people?
do you see the mole? Cool. It doesn't look like that in the show. It's
it's
so much worse.
it's a hairball with teeth, let me tell you.
It's so mean. Moles are not that aggressive. They can't see. So she gets bit by a mole and she yelps and they go to the doctor.
Who is in a running for getting banned just as fast as Apu did.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Boy.
Dr. Vindaloo is his name. Vindaloo.
That is his name. His name is
Vindaloo.
Dr. Vindaloo,
He's
which is an Indian dish, I believe.
Must be Hindu.
let's
I
see.
believe Vindaloo is a food. I'm gonna not Google that.
You know,
right now.
I had the same thought there. It's like, let's just go.
I'm definitely not Googling that. Vindaloo is a food. Vindaloo is an Indian curry dish.
Okay,
I
it's
pulled
better
that
than a
information
racist remark. That's
from-
fine.
No, I pulled that information from my head. I knew it.
Oh, he's an
sure.
homage. That's what he is.
So yeah, and he is very much a interesting man with very bushy eyebrows, and Okay, so name aside and Indian accent aside and Indian music playing in the background aside,
Yes.
he very much is reminiscent. All three of us here, two of us here have grown up in smaller communities. One of us has grown up in a bigger community, but he is very reminiscent of an idea of a small town doctor.
Is that what your doctors were like growing up?
No, when you go there, they're like, you'll probably be okay. Like, not that they're malpractice by any means, but it's just like, it's
Don't
a very
freak out.
It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Like, they see way worse stuff all the time.
Okay, this is starting to all make sense now.
I have
Alright.
I had a friend of mine that got hit in the face by a winch on the back of a on the back of a grain truck and split his face, basically, his nose and his lip open. And the doc was like, we'll sew you up and here's some painkillers, go home. Like, it is wacky when you deal with smaller towns. And again, that's not a bad thing.
No,
This is very reminiscent of times that I would go to a doctor and deal with like things.
So not the point.
I destroyed my leg in junior high playing basketball, and it swelled up to the size of a grapefruit, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor looked me dead in the eye and went, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like that before. Let me go get my book," and walked away.
Oh, that's horrible. No, that's the worst thing. No, never mind.
Yeah.
No, that's
I
fine.
was terrified as a 13-year-old.
Doctor, I'm just shitting out my insides. Go home, have some chicken noodle soup.
Here's some ibuprofen. Just rub it in.
One more disclaimer. If you're a doctor in a small town listening to this, we don't actually mean you, unless this is you.
Unless you're literally...
Other people from small towns listening to this, we don't mean that your doctors don't know what they're doing. We just mean that this can happen in some scenarios, and it's a funny joke that we make. Okay.
Yeah. So just to tell you, because I did come from a bigger community, there were some instances where that would happen, but also we were poor, so we weren't going to a good doctor. just pointing that out. There were some times where it's like, hey, I have this bump on my arm. It's like, I don't think it's cancer. I was like, I never said it was. He goes, good. Anyways.
Because it's not cancer. Don't think it's cancer. I'll be right back.
Yep. Bye. Just take these.
In other news, Vindaloo sounds really freaking good. But I digress. So the doctor basically says that it's nothing, and they go home.
He says, soak it.
Yeah, soak it. And she does. And
Just
the
keep
swelling goes
soaking it.
down. Which, hey, he was just like, you got bit by a weird animal. Probably should have checked for rabies, but what do I know?
Hey, this is Kansas. Just go.
Just a small town country lawyer, but what do I know? So this goes on. And then we end up, and I have a discrepancy, but we end up going into the kitchen, and stuff is happening. It's a full moon outside, and something begins to make a ruckus. And we cut out of the kitchen and to Courage investigating the ruckus in the kitchen, where he finds Muriel eating from his bowl. I have several questions.
Hey, I don't judge kinks, dude.
Just hunkered over really getting in there.
Number one, when she was initially bit, it was like a waxing moon. It was like a crescent moon.
Oh, shit. I didn't even... Yeah. Wait a
This is
minute.
the course of a day. It was a Now, Dilworth, baby, I know you're probably not a
Astrologist.
astrologer, man, but that's not how moons work. That's not how moons work.
That's not even how werewolves work. Wait a minute.
That's not how werewolves work.
It's like...
Come on now.
I didn't even realize that. You guys
This
are...
isn't a werewolf, though. It's a weremole.
I know, which is smaller.
We're running on new lore here, motherfucker.
We have to put that in a D&D campaign.
Let's
anyway.
move a little bit forward, because there is a point where somebody says something where it's like, hey, that's just like a werewolf.
Yeah. So, what? But,
yeah.
So this happens. So number one, that's my first discrepancy. Number two, why dog food, though? Why dog food
Because
though?
Dog food good,
No, dog food not good. I look at my dog food, I go no.
You've never
but
ate
not
dog
when
food?
you're.
Oh.
But here's the thing: if I'm a weremole, and like they even talk about other they eat people or rabbits. Dog food not have people nor rabbits in it. And
I
if
think
it
you
does,
just stumbled upon a better conspiracy here.
here's a better conspiracy. I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody. Dog food, Courage the Cowardly Dog Food, is made of people.
Oh God!
Oh,
Welcome, Alex Jones, to the Liquid Courage podcast.
Mm.
We probably shouldn't say his name.
I'm waiting for
Probably
that
actually
lawsuit
gets-
now. Yeah.
It's okay.
Don't do it yet.
He's got like several right now. We'll be fine.
I'm not worried.
But Courage sees this and okay, up to this point, let's recount what the fuck Courage has seen. He has seen Muriel being taken over by a demon. He has been rather brutally attacked by a man with some shears.
Yep.
Beaten
He has
down by a
seen-
cat.
He has seen giant spiders.
Giant
he
spiders.
has seen an anthropomorphic cat that
Yep.
has been terrible. He has seen those terrifying gerbils. He has seen
Yeah.
a chicken from outer space.
He's seen
None of
men
those.
blow up with their top, like, just
Yes,
explode.
yes.
Courage has weathered the storm through
He
all
has
of these.
seen all of these things. Arguably, much more worse than Muriel eating from his dog dish. Courage has a friggin' heart attack and passes out.
And it's
Rest
not
of
like
us.
it's just
What?
like one offset thing. They pull it all the way to the max, where he is in an ambulance riding down the street to the doctor's office.
And they hook him up to a machine, and the doctor goes, "You almost bit it, my boy."
You almost bought the farm.
Which means he almost died.
But he didn't.
No!
He's fine.
No, I'm not doing this. No. He has seen all of these horrors, and that's the one that gets him? That's the one?
Come on, there's got to be a breaking point somewhere, man. Come on.
No. The breaking point was the giant spiders in episode whatever.
No.
Episode
You see, you're seeing it as each of them as an individual case, but it's cumulative. He's never forgotten.
Oh, cool.
that.
Then I really look forward to the next episode where Courage dies.
Exactly.
I was gonna say the episode where Courage is just the narrator.
The corpse
from,
in the background.
Or he has another heart attack, at least.
Oh,
like-
God.
You've set a precedent here, boys. But
It's a
This is
precedent that I'm willing to see.
I am so... That hit me so wrong. I watched that and I went, somebody's a liar here.
But it was the best joke. I thought it was.
I thought it was a good joke.
hilarious.
Oh,
Sorry.
you two giggled like schoolgirls. Meanwhile, I was
As Taylor,
critically
a
thinking.
man who suffers from heart attacks daily.
I was sitting here thinking about it, and I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I was not okay with it.
All
I
right,
was grumpy.
Scrooge.
But anyway, so we move on from that, and the doctor doesn't believe Courage, obviously, because he's a dog. I like
Alright,
that that's
yeah.
the running theme.
That's a good point. And,
Courage sees blank. Nobody
He refers
believes
to him as a
Courage.
child.
Yep, that's gonna be a thing here. I was building to that one. Courage sees this, then fast forward to other issue, and then it's like Courage picks up a grown man
runs him.
and carries him back to the middle of nowhere and drops him off. And then he talks to Muriel and goes, "Your boy here believes there's something wrong."
Hold up. This whole time while this is happening, every time that Dr. Vindaloo is in the frame, there is the Indian music playing.
Yes, there's a sitar playing in the
There's
background.
a sitar or some
love the
kind of
sitar.
which it's not unusual for Courage because they've had sitars in earlier episodes, but
They have.
they're hammering
Muriel
this
plays
one
the
on a
sitar.
little bit harder
Yeah.
because
This is okay, and this is one of those things like, yeah, it's 2K19. Like, I get it. They took a poo out of The Simpsons. That's a whole nother time that I get to yell for 20 minutes.
Don't get him started.
But
that's on our sister
I-
podcast.
that's on our sister podcast. I yell at things. But
Yell
anyway,
cast.
so this goes Screamcast. So this happens. And Muriel looks fine when they get there, and he's like, "Oh, she's a," and then she says, "Stick out your tongue," and then she tries to eat
Devours
him in one
him.
bite.
Yeah.
And I think that was when we all collectively just went, "Oh well,
Oh.
here we are."
So this apex pretty fast. Yeah.
As the classical music is being played at the same time of a man being
Yeah,
Yes.
like eaten alive.
being
is the
devour
best.
our.
We all had the same reaction of courage. Just oh no. Oh, God.
No. Oh, here we are. Oh no. And so this happens. Courage has a freak out because why wouldn't you? And then we deal with a hilarity of Muriel turning into a horrible mole monster.
Popping
I
up
made-
wherever she wants.
I made the boys give me a rating beforehand of 1 to 10 on the grotesqueness of this.
So I don't
mutation.
agree with my original rating.
No,
Maybe a 7, I believe.
I did.
I don't
You
think
said
it's a 7.
And
I don't think it is.
Sheldon was just like,
I never
it's
gave
like
an answer.
No, you didn't. It was a cop out.
No, it was more
but-
along the lines of I don't see it as it's like I didn't think it was gonna be that spooky, and it still wasn't. It
I'm
was
gonna
still
ch-
bad though.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it from a 7 to a 4 because
Yeah, retrospectively, it's easy to do that.
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry. So we should give a rating before we actually see it.
That
Oh,
was the
okay. So
point.
the
It
episode I
wasn't-
haven't seen in 20 years.
No,
Let me go back.
That was
and
the
just-
point. The point was upon prior knowledge of transformations. Transportations is a 0 because it's that terrible.
It's a
truck.
bust. You're right. Yeah.
But
The thing is,
The
I
idea-
don't remember being scared of this episode ever.
no,
No.
the idea was that we did this just to see what would happen, to see how accurate you were. It was a pre-test, guys.
You're right.
You
I
have to
remember
get
it's
a
worse
data
than it
set.
actually was.
So
I remember it not being scary at all.
So we watched it, and yeah, it really wasn't that bad, except there was a couple points where Muriel unhinged her jaw. That was-
Or just super
So
wide.
the more devastating points come later with the mole and the other stuff going on. So
And her doing Pac-Man towards Eustace.
Yeah, and so then she jumps into down into
the
the floor, and is doing
With
all
her-
that.
With their prey.
Yeah, and pulls Dr. Vindaloo down. And then so we see all of this happening, and we are decently confused. But it really was not that grotesque of a transformation, which made me sad because I wanted it to be worse.
yeah, I thought it was worse. Yeah.
So this goes on. Courage runs upstairs and tells Eustace. Well, no, he doesn't.
He
Sorry.
pops up through the floor.
Sorry. He gets into a thing with Muriel and then gets thrown up through the second floor. By the way, the grandfather clock's gone in this episode. Through the
Oh,
floor.
no.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
And he pops up in Eustace's bathtub, which to me was way scarier. Anytime we see Eustace in the bath, I get just ever so slightly worried that we're
Taylor
gonna
has a
see
problem
one-
with old man dick.
Do you not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like,
Do you want to see that? I got a website for it.
yeah, I have a website here. I have a couple. I lived in the early thousands. I would play Halo and send people to websites they probably shouldn't go to. Come on. And that's where
Now
we end that statement.
hold
for-
on, boys. There's a website. I was
Wait.
making a joke, but what? Wait, hold on.
No, we're not going to show you
were
it.
You were on the internet in the early aughts. Don't even pretend that you didn't know about that party.
Or that spin.
No, that one was way worse.
Yeah, it was. Where's it had a counter?
I never went to either of those websites, but I knew
I
exactly
was
what
about
they
to
were.
say, I'm
when
like,
people said
actual
something
honest
about
truth,
them.
I've never seen those videos.
After you get burned by one of those, you'd learn not to go to the other one. Let's just
Oh
say
no,
that.
I just knew not to listen to people on the internet and my friends
yeah,
because
well,
they were both terrible.
Well,
Like-
I'm obviously younger than both of you.
But anyway, so this went on, and Courage was popped up through the ceiling, and then
Through the
he was-
bathtub. Yeah.
Through the bathtub, told Eustace about it. Eustace, as always, didn't believe him.
shoves
Because
him
why
back
would
down.
you at this point?
Shoves
right?
him back down, and then what ends up happening is then Muriel pops up and scares Eustace, as I think that's understandable.
Probably the most understandable scare in the whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I don't. No, I'm
Not
with
much to
you.
go on there.
I envisioned it through my own eyes. If I was looking through Eustace's eyes, just see a dog pop up first through a bathtub, a metal bathtub. We're like, no, get the fuck out of here. Which he doesn't throw him out. He pushes
he
him back
pushes
in
him
the
under,
water.
which we now know Eustace's kinks.
And then her head pops up, and that's when everyone gets scared.
Well, because she's a terrifying monster at that point.
It's
So
horrible.
much that Eustace can't even recognize her.
He thinks she's a mouse.
Yeah,
He does,
which
yeah.
I have again more questions as to what that man thinks a mouse is.
I prefer to go with how scary are mice in this universe.
Well, I mean, I was
Well,
to
we
say
did
you live
see
in
that
Kansas.
one.
Come on.
Yeah.
We saw the one mouse. Remember
So-
the one
Ew.
mouse that was the big boy with
Oh
the,
yeah, the gangster, old
Yep.
school
Theodore
gangster mouse.
Mouse.
Yeah,
yeah, remember him?
yeah.
I do.
So we know that mice can be fucking terrifying.
Yeah. So that happens. Eustace
problem.
then is goes downstairs, sees all the craziness that's happening, and basically is like, "I'm gonna take care of it with my mallet." And he runs
I'm gonna get
upstairs.
my mallet.
And Eustace goes up and does that. Courage freaks out and goes to our favorite's recurring character, the computer,
Woo!
which
He's okay.
which gives Courage the same advice, which is use a mallet. And then Courage just
Like,
screams,
no. We want to save the mole.
How do we
and
cure
how
it?
to cure it. Which then we saw the good Common Core math, which was 1 mole plus human equals 2 mole. Which I think all chemistry teachers out there will agree that's how you find the mole when you're doing the equations.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
almost
that's-
failed chemistry because of that.
That is a joke that is only gonna hit certain people that remember what a mole is.
all right, we all have our own, little small groups. But at this point, though, this is where the computer is like, yeah, it only happens during a full moon. Pokes a hole in the whole plot. If she got
No.
bit the night before,
She did. And then they show a close-up of a full moon the next night. And that's what I'm saying, is that now I'm upset because I want to know, is this day 1 of bite, then day 2 transformation? Or is it day 1 bite, and then several days where everything was chill, and then transformation?
Huh.
where's
I
the
don't
timeline,
have-
Dilworth? Where's
That's
the
what I mean,
timeline?
Dilworth. Where's the timeline?
I
Where's
don't know.
the timeline? Where's the
we have
second
to-
shooter?
First, we have to figure out where the clock comes in.
Where's the grassy knoll, Dilworth?
Where exactly? Where's the grassy knoll? Where's the grandfather clock? Where is?
If there's not an
Uh,
episode where they said, I bought this grandfather clock, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Where's Jimmy Hoffa? The moon landing,
Oh,
Where's
jeez.
Scarecrow?
curvature of the Earth. These are things that we need answered. But I need to clarify because no, the Earth is curved. It's a circle. It's a big sphere. Stop it.
Wow,
But
you had
Taylor-
to clarify that. Oh, it's 2019. So.
It's 2019. So I'm really angry this episode.
Yeah,
Sure are.
So
there are a lot of holes in it, but
yes.
still a lot of good animation. Like
lot of
we said
mold.
earlier.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. So this goes on. And we see all of that. So who knows when that is. The computer basically says, get a hair of the mole that bit you
I could use some of that.
to fix the
I can
issue.
do that, yeah.
That's what he says. And I groaned because I
And
was
we
like,
giggled
hair
because-
of the dog that bit you. Yeah. And so, man, I sound way cynical. But this goes on.
Man, Taylor.
And then a hard cut to Courage in the best costume.
In his
his
own
play buddy outfit.
his
Ever.
fursuit. Don't worry.
Yeah, Courage is in his fursona.
Yeah, this episode there's a lot going on here.
Yep. Courage
sorry.
is in his
Sorry about
fursona. He's in his fursona outside in his
Matthew,
little
wait,
bunny
come back.
suit. And he is waiting for a terrifying creature to come and attack him.
To take interest in his fursona.
to take interest in his fursona.
Like,
Aren't we?
I mean, like what usually happens, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Aren't we
yeah,
all?
Sure. Yeah. Aren't we all? No,
Just
we're
wait
not.
for someone
no, we're
interested in
not,
our first.
furries.
Oh,
No, we're not. But so this goes on, and the mole has the terrifying run up again to Courage, grabs a hold of Courage,
Courage
and
didn't even
here's
try.
where when we go, oh, it's not a filler episode. There's like a 2-minute run.
this is more than 2 minutes.
You think it's? I didn't. Time
So
it, I should've.
back and forth between the mole fleeing Courage to the ground, to the air, to the
Yep.
ground again.
And Eustace.
That's a minute. Back to Eustace playing Whack-A-Mole Muriel. That's a minute. Back to Courage. That's a minute. Back to Eustace. That's a minute. And
Now
then-
hold on. I think it's all 5 minutes, boys.
I know. I think it's 5 minutes at the most, but I think like it may be like 3:40 to 4 minutes of that.
Oh my
when you
god!
go,
No,
like-
I have it right here.
Oh god, he's got the timer.
How long?
Yep, I have looked at the time marks. If I
How-
give a generous stoppage of time to here, which is when Courage actually gets back in the house, it
Mhm.
starts at. It starts at technically. Let's see here, like 7:30 is my generous start time.
Yep.
for that.
Okay.
It ends. Oh no! Oh no! It ends at with Courage actually coming in and giving Muriel the
The hair.
thing at basically
Two.
an even 10.
Yeah.
So it is
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's
3
2
minutes of fucking nonsense.
Almost 3 minutes
Yes.
of nothing. I told you it's more than 2 minutes for sure. And it's that filler time that you have to make in an episode because an episode has to be so long to go on TV.
We got to hit that time.
You gotta hit
It
that
is-
time. Where do you find that
So-
time at? So
So, folks, today in the era of YouTube and the era of advertising and the
that
era
doesn't
of
exist
AdSense
anymore. Yeah.
and all of that, there was a thing that for a long time you might have noticed that some of your favorite YouTube stars were making videos that were 10 minutes in like a second,
That's
10 minutes and 5 seconds,
That's
10
still
minutes
now.
and whatever.
That's still
Welcome
YouTube's
to-
algorithm.
I know.
It still works now.
So that's about AdSense. That's about ad revenue hitting that time. Cartoons work the same way, except they don't have to work for ad revenue. They just have to work for we have to hit blank time to make sure that we have however many minutes.
Whoa.
22:30 is
Whoa.
what Courage ran without commercials.
Yes. So how that actually works, like it's weird to do it
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
AdSense. It's a little different. The difference is that a station has 30-minute blocks that's set up for a show, and out of that 30 minutes, 8 minutes and 7 minutes and 30 seconds, roughly, to 8 minutes is commercials that they put into the show. So
Right.
you have to have your show fill up the rest of that time, which is usually 22 minutes and 24 minutes.
Right. And the thing is, so Courage came out in the late 90s, early
1990.
2000s.
Yeah.
And because of this, the timing was different. We are seeing shows on television being shortened so we can fit more ads in that 30-minute block.
Right.
It's
But
a sad day
If
to
you
be
look at a show from the
cartoon.
90s and you look at a show from the 70s and you look at a show from the early 2010s, all of those run times are completely different now
Yep.
because the actual content's being shortened and ads are being thrown at you. So this is what's happening to our television viewing market. This is why a lot of people are going to internet mediums to attempt to kind of get more content.
Well, you have to.
Yeah,
The way the world
but this is the way it is.
You're making me
so-
sad, Taylor.
I know.
Missed that.
This is hang on. So
This is
what
my
we're
last
seeing.
8 years of my life.
Yeah,
Taylor's explaining everything that I found.
yeah. It's crazy when we think about that. But Courage runs on a 22-minute, 30-second runtime.
Mhm.
That's from start of episode to end credit episode. And even then, they were also running other things over the end credits to get onto the next program.
Yep.
But I digress. So anyway, we have to hit the time. we have to make sure we hit that. I believe it's 11. No, it's not. It's
22:30 for the whole episode. Every half of the episode can be 11:15.
11:15.
Plus, if they have to take out some time for that, they have whatever.
Right, and so they do. So that's the kind of the runtime that we're dealing with. So when we talk about 2 minutes and 30 seconds,
it's
of
not
the same shot.
It's not 2 minutes and 30
Recut.
seconds of 22 minutes. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of 11 minutes.
Yeah,
And then you go,
And
wait,
so-
that's a good fifth of the episode right
eighth
there.
fifth of an episode.
I don't know. And it's very brutal as well. That's how it comes off.
Courage getting the shit knocked out of him.
Courage being grabbed a hold of by this mole. And again, discrepancy. Earlier, they said, if you get bit by a mole, you turn into a weremole, right?
Courage gets
Now,
bit this whole time.
Maybe this only works with people. And because Courage is a dog, that's why this doesn't work. But that mole had a hold of that boy's feet for so long.
I prefer the iron-toed boots. But
the iron-toed rabbit costume?
the iron-toed rabbit jack boots.
What is that? The jab? I hate you.
That is a D&D item, sir. Come on.
You said that joke earlier.
You just
in
got
the
it.
episode, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And then now I'm like, "Oh, Jackrabbit, I hate you.
Yeah.
You're like that guy from Mordhau that we played with the other night. Oh, I hate you." But
it's so good.
That's a reference for later. So basically, that's where the episode ends too. That's the worst part.
Yeah, that's
Because then
really
it's
it. Because then it's bam, bam, bam. It's like
Muriel's
then it's all
cured.
gone.
Muriel,
Yeah.
Everything's
he
fine.
puts the hair in Muriel's mouth. She chokes to death
Chokes,
in front
becomes
of
a
us.
person again. We go downstairs. We hang out, and everything looks cool and fine. And then plot twist.
The
Dr. Vindaloo bursts from the floor. By the way, I went back to look at Dr. Vindaloo after this event, and I'm 90% sure if you took that picture of Dr. Vindaloo, by the way, those of you listening, if you go to 11 minutes, 16 seconds, you
In
can
the
really get a
episode,
good
yeah.
look at him. If you do that, you can get a really good look at what Dr. Vindaloo looks like. And if you take that image, I think you could make a really good deep fried meme out of it, or just another meme format. I'm not telling you what to do. I would just like to.
I was gonna ask,
like to
why does
see
it have to be deep fried? Can we fry it in avocado oil? What's the
You
deal?
can just do it, whatever. It is horrifying. And then Eustace gets grabbed by him, pulled underneath, and we counted that as another Eustace death, which brings us up to 3 Eustace deaths,
Woo!
which brings the total death counter up to, for those of you playing along at home, 7. 7 deaths.
7
in Courage
deaths!
the Cowardly Dog.
Woo!
By the way, this is only episode 6.
And this
Episode 5.
Is it
Count-
5?
Oh, wait.
it's 5
pilot. I
without
forgot
counting the
pilot.
pilot. Yes, the pilot counts. So
So, yeah, that's fun. That's where we are now. That's it, and that's the episode. And it's weird, it's wacky, it's a good homage to a werewolf story.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think
It was entertaining despite that gap, the one.
Yeah. Beside that, 2:30. Yeah. And even that was fun. But by the time we got to like the third cutback, we were like, they're still doing it.
This is
As
going on quite a while.
As a kid, we never would have noticed that. I guarantee it.
Oh no,
not
it was
at
just
all.
the best
We would
part
have
of the
pointed
episode.
and laughed the entire time.
you would just be laughing the whole time. No, that's That's how
but
it is.
there's that. So I don't know. I think we. Is there anything else you guys want to add about the episode? Holy crap! The grandfather clock is back in this episode.
Wait,
At
it's back in the werewolf.
11.
It's back at the
15.
end. Yes, it was back at the end. You're right.
At
So-
11:15, the clock is back. No, it's there too. At 2:40. We could be lying this entire
Listen,
time.
the animation's hard. All right, let's just put that out
At
there.
2:40, the clock is there too.
And
Let's see if
there's
before
someone
that point-
different doing the main animation and the background animation.
Keep
so
track
don't
of
even
that
jump into
clock.
that.
I want you all to keep track of that clock. I want to know when it first appeared.
I'll have to. But yeah.
It's used later.
So that's Nope, it's there in a minute too. Oh, we're really bad.
Oh man, we missed that clock.
Yep. So never mind. Hey,
We're human.
Cass Taylor was lying. So don't listen to him. He's a big fat phony. After he
Cass-
talks about the grandfather clock, then listen to him. Then he is okay.
I'm gonna cut this part out and put at the beginning of the.
Yeah. But so this goes on, and I don't think there's much else. I mean, we kind of hit all the beats.
It was-
we hit
it was a good
everything
episode.
because Weremole
It's fun.
is a little bit more like action packed than most of
It's
these
like a
A lot
episodes.
more animation in it.
Yeah,
It's like a good. It's like a good filler episode. It's like an episode that had a plot. It had a start and an end. It had action.
yeah.
It's not super iconic. It's not super like up there. It's also really not a filler episode, but I guess
Yeah,
if you
I was
wanna,
about to say
categorize it.
It's
If you want to categorize it, it's just kind of.
I thought it was
It's-
the first Courage episode, personally.
yeah.
It's because the
I made
rabbits are
that
in it.
mistake, so
Oh, don't worry. My mistake was way later on in the second season. Don't worry. But
It's fun.
like it's definitely
it.
not a filler episode. Like
No.
brought up earlier, like it seems like it should
filler
be.
episodes aren't bad.
No, well, no.
They can be, but
Look
they
at
don't
you,
have
Cajun
to be.
Granny.
I was say this is not a Cajun Granny, but like
This is not a Cajun Granny
it,
situation.
I feel like after you've gone past Freaky Fred and all that, there's no way for this to not be a like regular episode of Courage.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good episode.
So
Yeah, it's a good episode. It's got the right amount of like weird that really pulls it out. I think we got to do our patented rating system.
I know.
here.
I was trying
think-
to think what it was.
I'd rate it 4.5 dead-eyed rabbits out of 5.
Oh, beautiful!
That's a good one. I was gonna say sitar solos, so that
Oh,
works.
damn it.
Oh,
Like
those
the
are
rest.
both. Oh no, we can't do
I-
sitar solos because sitar solos is another thing in a
I
different
know.
episode.
I think we give it to Dead-Eyed Rabbits.
Dead-Eye Rabbits.
damn.
We want to pet the pretty rabbits, George.
I will give it a
Oh.
6 out of 10 Dead-Eyed Rabbits because
Ah.
it's a little bit better than a filler episode, but not by much. So, like,
It's that 2:30, isn't it?
yeah, that kills it, man. That's what stops it from being a 7.5 or an 8 to a 6.
I'd give it definitely a 7.5. I think it's better than a D score.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's a good werewolf homage. I'm glad that it wasn't just a werewolf. I think a
Yeah.
weremole is very stupid, but I think that works.
There's a lot of things that save in the episode for sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's again, I think you can't really cut out that 2 minutes though. Like that's the thing. I was trying to think about like how could you cut it? What else would you do with it? I don't think you can in the construct of this show.
As a video editor, I will tell you can cut down 2 minutes to 1 minute very easily.
Yeah,
No,
but
not
I mean-
easily.
But we don't
But you
want
can cut
to.
it down.
No. I just mean like I don't know what else you would do story wise with it because then you're still having to hit that point.
Yeah, as
And
I said earlier when we were watching it, there's a climax, and then for a lot of storyboards, like when you're thinking of a story in general, a lot of people think of like a fish hook where the climax is at the very tip of the fish hook, and then when you go down to the actual pointy part, that's the end of the story. That's like your traditional when you're building a story.
My dude,
I'm sorry?
I have only ever thought of a storyline as a pyramid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Taylor
Like-
got it. So,
As a fish hook?
all right, so there's two.
Are you laying it on your side?
Let me throw it out here real fast. When you're thinking of a story, when you're building a story, generally
Draw a fish hook.
Oh, it's upside down.
It's a
isn't it?
pyramid.
A fish hook.
A
Yeah,
pyramid is
that's
what you
I mean.
think.
You
So
have,
like,
Sorry, I had it the other way.
yeah. So a pyramid is what you think, and the climax is the very tip of the pyramid, and then the epilogue is everything that goes down. Whereas
Hey, Tim,
in
what
this
kind of
episode,
fishing you been doing?
oh, yeah. No, that's the pyramid. That's the traditional. That's the traditional like story
Oh,
structure.
man.
And then
Okay.
a fish hook is what most stories are, where they hit the climax, and then the epilogue is very little, and it's done. Oh, as I hit the fuck out of my mic. As I destroy the rest of my room.
It's okay. It's coming.
But
Tim, you been fishing?
I've been
Ah.
drinking.
Nah, but have you been fishing?
Not recently.
You drink when you fish.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've never been sober while fishing.
You shouldn't.
I'm gonna pretend I know what you mean by the fish hook. I'm gonna stick with my pyramid. I'm gonna stick with what I was learning.
Am I
what was
crazy?
taught.
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
crazy. That could
No,
be
no, I
crazy.
think I understand, Tim. It's just when I heard it, I was holding the fish hook the way I imagine holding the fish hook,
a
which
fish
is-
hook, right?
which is it's down,
Right.
sort of.
No,
like,
it's
and
opposite.
The hook coming back up, and you imagined it going up,
No,
and the
yeah.
hook coming down.
When you're
So I
thinking
get
about
you.
a story fish hook, it's like very much like you would put bait on the bottom of a fish hook, where the pointy part is. Where if you flip it upside down, the end that is connected to the fishing wire is at the very bottom, and then
So
yeah. Sorry, I apologize.
It's convoluted.
it's
Yeah.
not the way I would hold a fish hook, but I get him. I get what he's saying.
It's how bad fishermen hold fish hooks.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Well, night of the werewolf was great. Let's go ahead and go on to the Mother's Day, where Tim is not.
Wait. We gotta. Sheldon hasn't given. What's your dead-eyed rabbit?
I gave it a rating. I said 4.5
Did you
out
say
of 5.
4.5 out of
Yeah,
5?
he said 4 to
We-
5.
And then everybody went 10, and I went,
Oh my
okay,
God.
fuck me, I guess.
We gotta figure this out. Have we been doing 10 or 5?
No, so we've been doing 10. He did a 4.5. You did a 7, and I did a 6. So
Yeah, but
we're good.
he
My
did
4.5 was
out of 5.
So it'd be 9 out of 10.
Okay,
There.
so you.
Oh,
All right, that makes sense. Why and nostalgia factor and also just good episode.
Nostalgia
factor?
factor. It was basically my first episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. And it was just entertaining. I had fun.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. I think it's a very fun episode. I really think watch it. Go relive it. Go laugh at the 2:30-minute mark and realize that. And now that you're aware of it, you will see it. Go. It's fun. It's a good one. And now we get to talk about the perpetuated
Mother's
abuse
Day!
that Eustace just keeps pushing around. So that's also fun.
This episode brings bad.
Oofa doofa,
So,
my dude.
Oh, I really. Oh, we can't talk about it.
Yeah, we can.
No, we're
Oh,
going to talk
sure.
about Mother's Day, but we can't talk about the other thing we watched, which was the precursor to Courage.
Hey, folks, there's a precursor to Courage. Courage first appears in a thing that's called, what is it? It's called Smart Talk with Raisin.
Go watch it.
Courage has no lines. He's also a dog called Hamilton. This is the first time we see the design of what will be Courage. Go watch that. We'll probably talk about that.
Go watch it.
Eventually.
Maybe at the end of this episode, maybe later. I don't know yet, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you to go watch it because it's weird. It's on Stretch Films. That's John Dilworth's official
YouTube channel. Yep.
YouTube channel. So it's out there for you to enjoy.
It seems so much
Enjoy's
worse
a
after
strong
you.
word,
If you
man.
watch Mother's Day, this happened the episode, then you watch that, and you go, "What the fuck happened to you as a child, John? Jesus
and
Christ!"
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun way to maybe
Were
to
you
read
selling
too deep,
food
but
coupons?
we can still tell. But
Sheldon,
we're gonna talk about Mother's Day, though.
Yeah, please,
And
God.
So, Mother's Day. For those of you that are not familiar with the holiday,
Are you serious?
is a day. Yes, some people don't have mothers, Sheldon.
And yet they will still know Mother's Day.
No.
Let's
They
start
will
from the
be
very
their
beginning.
children.
So a dog is
So
an animal
back-
that has 4 legs, and
So back in the whenever Hallmark decided to sell more cards, Mother's Day is a holiday where you give presents and honor thine mothers for the work that thy do. All right, caught up.
oh, thank God, oh, I didn't know that.
So now that you're caught up, hey Sheldon, what'd you get your mom for Mother's Day?
I got my mother nothing.
Oh man, you're a terrible son. I would have lied my butt off.
Well,
What'd you get your mom for Mother's Day?
Here's the great thing: my mom said, "I don't want to see you or hear you on Mother's Day," but I still called her.
my mom was here for Mother's Day, so we just spent the day together, but I didn't
your
get her
presence
anything.
was your presence. See, that makes sense.
Oh, I fucking hate that slogan.
But I got my mother a nice sign for Mother's Day. She was very appreciative. It was a sign about family, and it was very fun. Now, moms are great, and we honor them with this day that is theirs. And apparently, John Dilworth and Irvin Bauer decided to also honor their mothers
In a very strange way.
by writing a very fun episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog that aired December 17th, 1999. Which is, by the way, nowhere near Mother's Day.
Oh, it's okay. We got the gist of it.
It's not the gift. It's the thought that counts, Taylor.
Yeah. Well, if this is the thought, then whoo boy. But this episode revolves around Eustace visiting his mother on Mother's Day, and it opens to an argument. Yep, that's where we're starting, folks.
I don't want to see that woman.
That's Muriel. There you go, and Eustace also not wanting to go to his mother's, and Courage also not wanting to go. So
I'm not. Oh,
he's not taking the dog, and then he takes the dog.
And then Courage is celebrating that fact, just like the whole 9 yards.
A
Fucking
literal
drum.
one-man band with confetti.
But much to Courage's disappointment, he ends up taking him anyway.
Sure does. They drive, they get in their beat-up pick-em-up truck, and they take off into a Mars-esque landscape. And
The foreground seems to be moving much faster than the background.
that means that pickup's going like 90 mile an hour. But
There's no one else in nowhere. It's
come
fine.
on, you live off of I-70. You know you can drive anywhere as fast as you want.
No.
I've only been pulled over there twice.
No,
Come on.
we don't. No, it's not the Autobahn.
Not especially on the one-lane highways they seem to have.
Especially not with the amount of police forces out here. Oh my god, you crazy people. Anyway.
I only got 100. It's fine.
Anyway, so they're out in the car, and Courage is visibly upset, and Eustace is also upset, and they've got the Mother's Day stuff. And Eustace starts to explain to Courage how they're going to get out of visiting his mother by having Courage pretend to attack his mom.
Right.
He wants to look good for his ma. He's going to be that hero.
Yes.
He's vicious. Oh no, get back in the car. He's vicious.
Yes, he's a mad dog.
Mad dog.
And there's some interesting shots in that car ride. There's a couple where Eustace gets way close to the screen. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
Eustace is a man that you wouldn't share a drink with. Eustace is a man that you wouldn't share a room with.
Eustace is the man I really wouldn't want to meet, to be told.
And Courage tentatively agrees, and then they pull up to...
If not, he'll get beaten.
Yes, because that's what happens to Courage. All the time. Buckle up, kids.
Abuse is on the way.
Oh boy!
Thank God there's no kids in this show.
So, they pull up to Eustace's mom's house, and it is a trailer house, and it is like the most stereotypical, like backwoodsy trailer I think I have ever seen in a children's cartoon. Sans Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah.
Like, the Canker Sisters.
The Canker Sisters live in a terrible horror trailerscape.
Yeah.
So
his brother too.
Which also then begs the question of, hey, Cartoon Network, why do you hate people that live in trailers?
Have you ever? Never mind. I'm not going there. I don't want to go there.
But so this happens, and they go into this trailer, and it's a bad place. And Eustace's mom opens the door, and she's a little tiny lady that with Eustace's head and a big long red hair curly thing on top. And who wants to talk about that camera angle that they open with on her?
I don't, but I will say
You mean
it was
the
very
panty shot?
upskirty.
Yeah, it's an up. Yeah, it is an upward angle shot.
No one wants to
And
talk about it. If that's the truth.
I don't know. Yeah, why was that the choice? Why was the choice to have it just enough that you could see underneath her dress? Now, this is a children's cartoon, so there is nothing there, and it's very nondescript. But as adults watching this, all of us kind of went, "That's weird.
Hey,
That's a weird shot."
that's strangely provocative.
That's a weird shot to have. And so that happens, and then Eustace and Courage are greeted by Eustace's mom, and we start to see some pieces of the puzzle appear, as she is not very warm to Eustace, is exceedingly warm to Courage.
You mean she's a bitch?
Yeah, that's
Hey, there he goes. Yeah.
And she doesn't. Well, you all know how Eustace treats Courage. Well, she doesn't treat Courage that way. She really likes Courage.
But she treats Eustace that way.
But there is a Courage in this scenario.
There's a Courage in this scenario. So then Eustace is kind of being berated on the porch there, and he steps on Courage's foot to get him to jump and kind of fly towards his mother.
Mad dog.
But that was the original plan, by the way. It's not like he should go towards her so that way he can grab him back and like, oh no, he's a rabbit
Not
dog.
the
I
abuse
gotta go.
part,
I gotta
but-
Yeah, not the actual abuse step on foot part, but yeah. Then Eustace grabs Courage, does his best Homer Simpson impersonation,
Yeah.
and strangles him, and his mother does not approve.
She does like a fucking WWE wrestling move on you.
She basically RKO's him. And
Yeah.
then they go, and then we start to see some other things unravel. They go into the house, and
They eat dinner. I guess the dinner scene isn't really that.
Well, I mean, Courage gets this lovely dish of
Brown
who
meat.
knows what and a
Yeah.
cherry on top,
Yeah.
yep, and a big old bowl of water.
where Eustace gets what, a couple strips of burnt bacon? What the hell was that?
Not even like
Still
bacon.
not
Like someone had to have cut that off of bacon.
That was like if you take bacon and you cut the fat pieces off of bacon,
Yeah,
and
and
just
that's-
leave the little meat like
Ugh.
pieces. Which, by the way, if you do that, you're a sociopath.
Whoops.
And
Guilty.
that
for-
is that's what is left is this little strip of bacon, and he has to eat that. And she constantly berates him while eating. Don't eat so fast. Don't eat so slow. Don't
Stop
chew so loud.
slouching.
Or tie your shoes. Stop slouching.
Sit up straight. Yeah.
Sit up straight. Courage is eating his food, and then he stops, and then it all just kind of starts to come to the surface, and we realize that like
Oh God.
Eustace's mom is doing the exact same thing that Eustace does to Courage, and okay,
It
this
makes,
is where we
Yeah.
go ahead.
And
No, I
it's
was
a
gonna
little
say,
too real.
I'm glad this is in the first season, because anything that happens after this, you go, okay, well, the only reason Eustace is doing this to Courage, the only reason he's so mean to Courage, because it has been done to him, and he sees Courage as like the next generation, or like a kid or something.
This
like
is
that.
how
Ooh.
you treat your youngers.
Ooh,
This is how
I
you treat
love-
someone below that.
Oh, here's the thing. I love that you bring that up. I studied psychology for a long time.
There he is.
I got a
There
degree
it
in
is.
it. Hey, guess what we have? We have the perpetuation of abuse in an abusive relationship.
There
The
you
kid grows
go.
up in an abusive family and then starts abusing his own family later. Now, that doesn't mean
It has
it
to
happened to you. However, it is something that we see and is a trend.
Yeah.
Hey, fun show about a dog that's scared of
be.
things.
Let's show abuse.
You'd be scared of
It's like,
abuse.
Hey, fun show about a dog that's scared of things. Why you gotta go so deep?
Why you have to hit so close to home, dog?
Why you gotta go so deep, dude?
It's
Like,
your-
holy moly.
It's crazy that this part of the episode hits so deep. Like there's not a lot to it, really. It's just the same kind of pattern over and over
It's-
and over again.
Fuck you, Eustace. Love you, Courage.
Yeah, it's basically that over and over again.
And that's it. And there's different variants of it. And this is another one of those episodes where you can go watch it and you'll see it. And it's real blatant. And we get to the kind of the culminating point of it where his mom straight out says, or his mom pulls out the masks that Eustace uses to scare Courage in the opening scene and scares both of them.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
then says, see, I knew that you were still a weenie. You're never going to be a real man like your dad. You're never going to be able to fill his shoes.
And they show the
And then they
shoes!
show these enormous shoes. And we're like, that's a really funny visual gag. Meanwhile, I'm over here going, oh, this is like legit an allegory. Why though?
As Sheldon is over here going like, that's a
fucking
cloud giant.
Yeah. So
Who could fill those shoes?
I need to I need to know now if this was supposed to be like an episode that shows that I don't see. This is a weird thing because I don't know if this was supposed to be an episode that like showed, hey, here's the cycle of abuse and what it looks like, or if this was just like, isn't it funny that his mom treated him like Courage? Ah,
It's kind of funny how it works that way.
So,
in the 90s.
in the on the fandom.com
Oh,
or
good.
whatever bullshit
Oh,
for
good,
this,
the fandom.
the little trivia they have for this, they say that like it's revealed that Eustace was neglected by his mother, calling him stupid boy, similar to how Eustace calls Courage stupid dog. And like I guess so, but it's not explicitly said though.
It kind of is.
It
I mean,
is.
it's not stated like, haha, I treat you just like you treat that dog. But it's enough that even you as a kid would catch on. It's like, wow, that's pretty hypocritical.
Yeah, so
of you.
I said earlier, when it was like, I'm glad this is in the first season, because if it was like in the later stages, you go, oh my god, I need to backtrack and watch all this to see where like this is all fucked up.
And
But,
see,
like,
that's the thing though, is like as a kid, I definitely know that I would not have picked up on this.
Oh no.
Oh, not at all. No, there's no way.
But as an adult, I 100% look at this and I go, that's literally the cycle of abuse. Like that's literally what we talk about in things when it's like, oh, abuse goes in cycles and it's because this is what the person knows and this is all they know because this is what they were grown up with. Yeah.
The other fact that's here on the trivia wiki, there's a lot of them, but there's not any that really pertains to us. There's one other I'll bring up later, but
Sure.
compared to other Courage episodes, this one is fairly light-hearted and not creepy.
Excuse me?
That's no.
I'm with you, though. This is not lighthearted at all. This is fucking about abuse.
It's not creepy, though. There's not a fucking mummy here.
Oh, thank God there's not
It's
a
just
goddamn...
a true monster that is people.
Eustace's mom isn't a ghost.
Oh, thank God there's not a slab that we have to throw outside the house.
No, that's 2 episodes from now.
It's just a child called It.
No.
So,
Yeah, like, God damn it. Why is that a trivia fact? I hate... Ugh.
welcome to my... Hey, hi, Tim. You know when you go to the fandom wiki? Now you know my pain.
Abuse is better than supernatural.
There's
like-
only one fact here that's a good fact, but I'll let you go on.
Go for it. No, pull it up.
No. It's for later. It's for later.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So we see that, and then
And,
by the way, folks, we're gonna circle back.
Oh, for sure.
no
But
matter what Eustace does.
here's the timeline here. Yeah, no matter what he does. But they deal with this, and then they decide to resolve their issue with an arm wrestling competition, which makes me think that was how all issues and all arguments were resolved.
In
Bag
his house?
household?
Yeah, for sure.
It's how you know what? It's how my aunt and my uncle figured out their problem. The children was given to the winner.
Yeah, it's just eat the one that loses. But
I mean, who
the
else?
idea.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah,
Just eat them.
Just get
they're
'em.
not used.
Eat them whole. Eat them whole. It's
Um,
not grease or anything.
But again, we again go back to. Boy, that seems like a weirdly, oddly violent way to solve problems. But I have a different mind on here. But this goes
thought
on.
noodling was wrong too.
It
Yeah,
is
you did.
wrong. God did not put you on this earth to noodle. There,
here's the-
Oklahoma, read your Bibles.
All right.
I'm sorry,
Full
but Alabama
circle from the
says otherwise.
first 5 minutes of this episode. Way back.
So, there's the next part is that They have this thing, and Eustace is going to lose, so he enlists Courage to help him. And earlier on in the episode, Eustace gave his mom a bunch of gifts, and one of them was a bunch of flowers, and the flowers make his mom sneeze. Another gift was chocolate, which she tried and then said, "I hate chocolate," then gave it to Courage.
So why would you
Courage
fucking
ate all of
try it
it.
in the first place?
Yeah, why would you do that? And then Courage ate the chocolate. Courage is a dog. Let's just forget about that, I guess.
So Courage is dead, by the way. At
yeah.
this point in the adventure, he is dead.
He is very dead.
Super.
Oh, I know. Here's what I know the argument is. It's milk chocolate, though. It's not the same as dark chocolate.
That's bullshit. Get
They
the
were
fuck
shaped
out of
like
here.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
It's not for this podcast, but that's not get the fuck out. No, I know for firsthand experience. No, get the fuck out. That's not how that works.
So, this goes on. And Courage grabs the flowers and makes his mom sneeze, and then Eustace beats his mom.
And arm wrestling. Don't say just Eustace beats his mom. No.
I really wanted that beat to stay there. But his mom's hair gets knocked off, and she's screaming about how she's ugly. And then Eustace gets down. He's like, "Oh, Mom, you're beautiful to me."
And pulls off his hat.
Why, thank you, son.
And then
But
she
you're
goes,
the ugliest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, that's what she says, minus the piece of shit part.
No, she pretty much says that.
I mean, it's
You're the
implied,
ugliest
but
guy I've ever. Yeah.
But you're the ugliest boy I've ever seen. Sorry.
And then they have a good old laugh.
Abuse is natural.
And then the episode ends, and they come back, and Courage shows Muriel a fun picture of Courage wearing the wig, and Eustace and his mom smiling, and all the relationship is mended. And that's great. Okay.
So the
that's
episode
fun.
finishes. Happy day.
I'm
Everybody's happy, right?
I'll
Happy day,
give that
episode
a
over.
7 out of broken relationship with your family.
Okay, so here's why that's not right. So,
Go on, sir. Tell us how it's not right.
if this is a real cycle of abuse, if the writers were really trying to emulate that, this is not how you beat the cycle of abuse. This is not how that works. You have to go through years of all kinds of other stuff
Oh yeah.
to deal with it.
Oh yeah.
And
Dealing with the reality.
I have known people that have grown up in situations that have not done the same thing. I've also known of people who have done the exact same thing because they didn't acknowledge the issue. These two don't acknowledge the issue. This is episode 5 of the series. There are 4 seasons. This doesn't get resolved.
No, she's a recurring character the whole time.
Yes,
Yeah, she
and
comes
she's
back,
still
yeah.
just as terrible.
When does she show up again?
Oh,
It's like a couple episodes.
I think I think she's still here in season 1. Definitely in season 2 she's there. Yeah, for sure. So,
But yeah,
She just doesn't seem like a healthy character, is what I'm saying.
oh no, she's not.
The whole
Whenever she
relationship is
shows up,
unhealthy.
she just causes problems.
Yeah,
is what I'm
no,
getting
yeah.
at.
Every time she shows up, it's bad. Oh, okay. So this is the only part in season
your
1
bag?
that she's here.
Well, that's more than 3.4 ounces. You're gonna have to.
I believe she comes in.
She comes in to 4 episodes in season 2. And then,
Holy shit, that's a lot of
in
episodes.
season
such a good
3,
character.
she's in 1 episode, and then after that, she's out. So
So
Is it bad that that's okay?
yeah, no, it's not. It's fine. She's like, so 1990 was not the time when mental health was at the forefront of American ideology.
can this be the moment I bring up my one fact that I want to share from the trivia
for
that's
it,
really
Papa.
Pop
true?
it in, butter.
This is the last episode that aired in 1999 of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
This is true.
This is the one last one. Everything else is after the 2000 mark.
Yeah.
Would you
even-
say
but
this is a good episode, though?
I don't.
And what I mean by
know.
that is, do you think it's one of those things that brought to light things that maybe people didn't notice?
I think this would be a good episode if you had some problems and you need to deal them out, or you wanted to get more insight to why Eustace is such a dick.
Yeah, I think that's a good backstory episode, maybe.
Yeah,
But
for
here's
sure.
here's the thing, though, is that we talked about this before. Is how canonical is Courage?
That's
Yeah,
the thing. We don't
that's a
know.
real-
There's a
that's a
lot
real
of
good
bullshit.
So
Like,
how canonical is Courage, and what is
I would say
really?
this is an episode that would help you understand Eustace, but not sympathize with him, because I still think he's an asshole.
Well,
see,
yeah,
I
but-
think that's the. I
don't
think it's
know.
the opposite.
Yeah.
I think it's you would sympathize for Eustace because this is the reason why he treats Courage this way.
Well, I think as a child,
But-
you look at it and you go, "Ha come up and ha."
Well, yeah,
Shit.
as a child, there's no way you're seeing this.
As
shit.
a child, it's
Yeah.
not like us adults who are fucking analyzing everything.
No, but
As,
that's what
as
I
an
mean, though.
adult who's gone through bullshit in his own life, yeah, no, I would see this and go, okay, I mean, Eustace is not that bad of a character.
But the problem with me is Eustace could also learn from his mistakes. Is
But
what I'm
here's-
getting.
True.
at.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's the thing.
He could break the cycle.
that-
yeah.
No, but here's the thing. People in that scenario have the hardest time learning from that because they grow up in an environment where that is all the love that they know. And the only way that they have a fucked up idea that love is associated with that abuse. If I'm not getting that abuse, then I'm not being loved. If I'm not giving that abuse, I'm not giving love. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into that. But if you're a child of that environment, your brain literally starts to think that that's how that works, and it takes a whole hell of a lot to break that ideology, to break that cycle.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to sandbag you.
no,
I'm
no,
trying-
no,
No, you're good.
I get you.
I'm trying to point out, like, this has way deeper implications, and I, as a person who has to watch this, needs to know, were they trying to show that in this episode, or was it a haha funny episode? And here's the thing, it doesn't matter either way at this point. Like, if they were trying to show it, that's really cool and awesome, good for them, and they showed like a happy ending of can move past it. But then we have 4 other seasons. We have
Yeah.
4 seasons of Courage.
There's so much more.
So maybe you can't. But if they were just like, haha, funny, that's okay too. This isn't a crusade. I'm not trying to launch a crusade into the inner workings of these writers and this creator. I just want to know, as a person who noticed this, if this is what was trying to happen or not. And we don't have... Oh, maybe we do. But we don't have the ability right now to know that. There's nothing that talks about that.
In our intoxicated state, I would say we don't have any ability to know.
No.
But
Yeah,
that's-
you're definitely correct. I will give you that.
That's what I mean, is that, like, it's super weird. And, like, this is,
I actually
like,
think this is a pretty good episode.
yeah, well, yeah, it depends on
It's-
what, like, you look at it.
it's a very good episode when it ends and you realize what the theme is and you realize what is happening in the episode. And
Yeah.
and as an adult looking at it, whereas when I was a kid, when I was looking at it, I didn't see any of this.
The
Well,
fact that
like-
we can have these discussions
Yeah,
makes
no,
me
it's
think it's a pretty good episode.
it's very
yeah.
progressive as an episode, to be totally honest. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And, like, it's super
I
weird.
interrupted
And
you.
it's,
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I interrupted Tim, and I
Oh,
apologize for
Oh
that.
no, you're good. The only thing I would say, if you really have a problem, stuff like this, if you're a kid listening to us, or if you've had problems,
If you're a kid,
before,
you shouldn't be listening to us.
For
one.
yeah, well, yeah, that's.
But
probably a good
if
point.
you are someone that is in an area
Adult.
or in,
you
like
can
this-
seek help at any time, and there's a bunch of other resources you can look
Oh, yeah.
online, and there's
There are-
childhelp.org is a very good, like, if you've been in abusive relationships beforehand to now, like, if you're an adult and you have that problem, they can work with you as well. I just wanted to put that out there because that's something this episode hits on, and I
Yeah.
really would like, for if you have a problem, please, for God's sakes, find someone to talk to. Just talk about it. If it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but
Oh,
the
Yeah,
help
no,
is
100
the word.
it's nice
100%.
to have
Get-
resources.
get out there. Like, we live in a world now where the connected. We are 3 morons on the internet talking about a children's cartoon. You are able to do so much in today's life.
Oh yeah, look
and-
at us. We have we have almost 200 followers on Twitter. Come on, dude.
Woo!
You do what you can do.
But you didn't see me. I did the peace sign. But yeah, for real, if you're in a situation, been in a situation, or you're aware of someone in a like this, look for the resources. Look for the helpers. They're out there.
there's no reason to live with it, and if you like, it's all up to you. Everything that you do, you can find help online. You can find help through phone. If you need to talk to somebody, just try to talk to somebody that you know and you trust, and get that stuff out. It helps at the end. So
Yeah.
didn't mean to bring this to a downer note on the end of this episode.
No.
But
And that's what I mean, though, is that it's a weird episode because we are able to have a conversation about a cartoon dealing with this theme, and it does bring to light other issues. And so it's interesting to see where they try and do that, where they not. And if you know, or if you are someone who knows,
Let us know,
and you want to
please.
get in contact with us, we have a Twitter, which is Liquid. Is it? Go ahead, you do it.
oh
The
jeez,
Liquid.
let me pull it up. Oh god.
my God.
You're scaring me. It is at liquid_podcast. You can contact us anytime through a message on Twitter. If you want to contact us on Google, it is Liquid Courage Liquid Courage Podcast at gmail.com.
So we got both of those.
So if you want to email us, it's the Liquid Courage Podcast at gmail.com, or at Twitter if you want to get in contact with us. You can always DM us. You can tag us and whatever you want. We're always I'm on there all the time. Just let us know at Liquid Podcast. We want to help you anytime we can. So
Okay, let's roll that back. If you're someone in a scenario where this is happening, don't contact us. Contact professionals. We
Trust
can't help
us.
you.
well, yeah,
None of us can help you as well as a professional could.
But if
obviously
you-
a
but if you-
professional is the best. But if for whatever reason you need to reach out to us, that's where you could.
But if there's a question you want to ask
True,
to anything
true.
of us,
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's there. But
That's
anyway,
how crazy this episode was. It's that down to
You should call
earth.
that.
It's making me look in.
It's
causes
scaring
reflection.
us positively.
By the way, nobody dies in this episode.
And that's probably a deeper meaning.
That's very, very
Which
good.
leads us to a 6. Or sorry, what is our grading system for this episode?
Oh man. Fuck.
Ooh.
Is it ground beef
Redhead,
or is it?
redhead wigs?
Oh, I like that redhead wigs.
Redhead
I
wigs.
like that for this episode.
I would give it a
Let's go
solid.
with redhead wigs.
I would give it a solid. I don't know. Maybe it's. See, this is what's weird. Is like if I'm just judging it on the content of the episode. Like if I was
I'd
just
give
going
it a
in,
6 out of 10.
if I was not looking at it like analytically, it's probably like a 6. It's really not that fun of an episode in my opinion.
It had a lot of funny moments.
I
would,
think it has some funny ha-has.
I think
but
there's
I don't know
a
if
lot
it's
of-
like great.
There's a lot of good slapstick moments in it.
I'll
I'll
raise it to a 7. You know what?
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 as well. So I think both solid 7s. I might edge out Werewolf or Weremole to an 8 if this is where we're doing it.
Well, yeah,
I
definitely.
Gave Weremole and fucking 9.
I was
so-
gonna say, yeah. I'll give Werewolf in retrospect. If we
Yeah.
give this, like, I'm gonna give this a 6. I'll give Werewolf a 7, just because it's
Werewolf.
not that kind of hitting. It's like very much the entertainment side of all this.
Yeah.
Whereas this episode is very much about, oh fuck, what happened in someone's youth.
Eustace had a bad childhood.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah. We've already plugged our Twitter. We've already plugged our Gmail. So that's fun. We've done that. Tim's streams. We semi-plugged that. That was cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Um,
Let's see if that happens in the future.
Go watch him. It's fun.
Go watch Tim.
Other than that, in regards to upcoming episodes, we have
The Duck Brothers.
we have- Duck
yeah,
Brothers.
this is very much an in-between episode. Between
Come on, stop doing a lackluster podcast.
Some,
Oh my God.
oh God.
Duck Brothers and Shirley the Medium. That's what we got. Oh God, I just remembered.
Oh, yeah,
Shirley
it's-
the Medium.
It's great. No, yeah, no. I
Come
remember
on,
all
Eustace.
those.
There's
So
nothing in that box for you.
Oof.
we're
Yeah, so there's that.
that's like when I said at the end of this episode, as I hit the shit out of my mic again.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that
I don't know.
You got to
what's
stop
happening.
smacking your mic, man, or
I
we
might
might
be-
get you about abusive relationships.
with your microphone.
I'm the audio editor. Don't say this. But like this is very much not a filler episode, but it is.
Yeah.
Like in a way, like for all the iconic episodes that you would see on Courage, like This is not one that you would pick out right away unless you were Sheldon, which he was like, "Yeah, this is the first one I've seen."
Oh, shut up.
I think it's like I said, I think they're fun episodes. I think that they are interesting, especially as adults viewing them.
Sure.
Because and I think that's part of what this podcast is supposed to be. Is it's supposed to be the show from your childhood or the show that you've never heard of or you barely heard. Go watch it, and if you got fresh eyes, you'll see all the fun haha jokes we talk about. And then the other stuff is like, oh, that's a reference to blank, and that's a reference to blank. And I think both of these have really good references. I think the Weremole one is a good reference to like that pulpy werewolf film stuff. And I think that the Mother's Day one is a really interesting one that is just based upon cerebrally, as we've grown older, what that looks like too. And so I think you've got both of those.
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't do Bates Motel, right?
Hey, yeah! Woo!
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, I think
that didn't happen.
That's a good place to leave today.
It is. So we're gonna call it here. I hope that you all have a wonderful.
Oh, Taylor, you're cutting in.
Oh, wonderful
time. Sorry, I leaned back. A wonderful time in your lives. Whatever you do, I got nothing else. I'm
That's
spent.
it. Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Bye,
Good
babies.
night.
Bye.
That was the Liquid Courage Podcast, an in-depth look at every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. On the next episode, we look at the Duck Brothers and Shirley the Medium. Music was provided by Visionless. You can find them at www.soundcloud.com/VISIONL3SS. We do not own the rights to Courage the Cowardly Dog. Until next time, have a wonderful night.
There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just keep soaking it.